Good day everyone, welcome to channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. My name is Carl Young, Registered Migration Agent in Australia. Today I would like to take some time to introduce what we call the Independent Skill Migration Visas under the subclass of 189. Now before we begin, I would like to provide you a news in regards to the working holiday visas. The Department of Immigration has newly announced a third working holiday visa required for working holiday makers who has come here for at least 2 years. So historically, people could come here as working holiday visa holders for 1 year, and then you extend it the second time. Now they're opening opportunity for people to actually extend it for the third year, so you can extend it twice. Now the requirement to extend it for the third year is that provided you have been working in regional Australia for at least 6 months at the second year of your working holiday visas. And this initiative will commence on the 1st of July 2019, which is going to be this year and very soon. But let's get back to the topic. Now today I would like to take this opportunity to get into the details of how independent skill migration actually works. The rule of thumb is pretty easy. You have a skill that is required by the Australian governments, and they will invite you to come to Australia to become a permanent resident and stay here and work in the society. Now, a couple of requirements that we need to know about. First thing is you got to be at age under 45. And secondly, your skill has to go through skill assessments, which are appointed by authorized departments under immigration to assess your specific occupation there. Now, thirdly, obviously you need to pass the general English test, which is required under what they call competent English level. It's about an IELTS test score of 6 across 4 bands. Now, I'll take you through to have a look all the details on actually explain over the internet on the immigration websites. Let's have a look. Now, we're here at the Australian immigration website under the subclass 189. They call point tested streams. So basically on this page it actually spells out all the things that I have introduced to you previously. Now let's have a look at this. Basically you need to be invited to actually apply. So what does it mean? Now, Australian visa system provides you an expression of interest form where anyone could actually register for one, or as a registered migration agent we can help you to do that too. So you need to put in your background details in the EOI, and then you will be invited by the Australian government. Now, there has been a lot of friends out there and clients who I had met had causing issues because they did not foresee that they should have paperwork and documentations, evidence of supporting documents prepared before they're putting EOI. So what had happened is, by the law, at the time of invitation, you should have everything ready. So any document provided with dates that's after the invitation would not be accepted. Then your visa will be rejected. So that's a very, very important thing. So the best practice is that obviously consult with your migration agent and get things ready before you lodge an EOI and get invited. Now, looking downwards, have a look at this suitable skill assessments. Obviously, different occupation is assessed at different skill assessing authorities. Just give you an example. If you're a pilot, you're required to go through CASA. If you're a chef and cook, you're required to go through TIA. If you're an accountant, you're required to go through CA or CPA. And if you are nurse, you need to be registered first, and also you need to go through the skill assessment, what they call ANMAC. And if you're a teacher, that's a different skill assessing authority as well. So different occupation go through different skill assessing authorities. Now, different skill assessing authority does have a different policy and criteria required to get assist. Now, I'm not going to go into very fine detail about all the occupation, because otherwise that's going to go for hours and hours. Today's the initiative is more about an introduction of what this system does, and if you have interest and want to know more than happy to leave a comment, contact me, and I can provide more information for you. And by the way, all of these websites I'm presenting, I will leave the URLs in the descriptions. Now, obviously, they want people with age under 45. No one is going to be older than that. If you're older than that, you may consider other visa route to actually come in, and the minimum score is going to be 65. Now I'm going to go into the point tables to actually show you how you actually get that score of 65 and give you some examples there. English level, the higher the better. Competent English is the minimal requirement. If you could not meet a competent English requirement, you will not be invited and you will not be able to get into the system at all. Now let's get into the point tables here for the skill independent visa subclass 189. Now before I go through all this, I'd like to take this opportunity to just to show demonstrate numbers of my previous clients and friends of mine. One is my good friend Clarice, who came as a registered nurse. Now she went through skill assessment and found that there are certain requirement under Australian policies, and she has to go through additional courses to actually gain her full skill assessments. And once that was done, her work experiences obviously had counted, and also towards the points plus the English achievement that she had obtained, and got invited by the Department of Immigration and gain permanent residency. Now the other friend of mine who came as a very successful, I could say, a chef who had worked for many years and with numbers of different airlines. Obviously the work experience was exceeding 7 years and gained a lot of points. The difficulty under that application was the skill assessing authority, because there's too many work references in the past, so that took some time, but actually we've gotten through and got the permanent residency into Australia. Now the whole family is here already. Let's have a look. Now Australia promotes, again, if you're age of more than 45, you're not eligible to be in the system, and they promotes people between the age of 25 and 32. So they give out the highest points. So if you are somewhere there, you should be very good. But I got a lot of friends who are within 33 to 39. We got 25 points. So let's counting. We still got 40 points to go. Now English language, competent English, you get 0. But if you can meet proficient or superior, which is under the level IELTS 7 or 8. If you want more detail, I'll leave a what we had done with the Macquarie University and online courses, which is only about $49 Australian dollars. You can go and check it out, how sophisticated the testing system is. But if you can reach proficient or superior, you get 10 or 20 points. Let's just say we reach 10 points here, so plus the 25, we got 35 points. We are 30 points short. Now skill employment, they promote people who had work in Australia already. So if you're working in Australia for 1 year, you get 5 points. But a lot of my friends who come from overseas, they would have been working somewhere. Now see, predominantly people are between 3 years to 7 years. So 3 years you get 5 points, 5 years you get 10. So let's have a look. If we got 5 years of work experiences, you get that 10 points. Then we got rest of it down as in qualifications. So qualification wise, bachelor you get 15 points, and diploma 10 points. Now people come and ask me whether or not the bachelor degree or whatever the qualification has to match your actual qualification. Obviously under the skill assessment, it does happen, but some people do have 2 or more qualifications. Now just give you an example. If you were a chef, obviously you would have a certificate or diploma somewhere. Now, during that time or prior to that, some people might have some bachelors and they thought about changing their careers. Now, your bachelor could actually gain more points, although your nominated occupation is a chef. So that's a tricky part there. Now, if your points are not enough to actually meet that requirements, obviously they promote you to come to Australia to study. Or let's have a look at here. If your occupation is under the specialist education qualifications, that's all the scientists or engineering. Let's have a look. There's a aerospace, well, anything like that. Obviously, they promote you to come and give you more points there. Now, so this whole point system is based on reaching a minimum of 65, but you may find some occupation requires a higher mark, higher points. It's due to the competition. For instance, IT field or accountant fields, they probably need you to be at least 70 to 75. The reason of it is just too much of competitors and competition coming from different places. There are too many people in a queue. Obviously, the system will pick the best, the brightest, so the points which is required to be higher. But if you do have any questions in regards to this, feel free to contact me. We can check it out straight away and let you know what's the requirement out there at the moment. Now, apart from that, I'd like to take this opportunity to also talk to you about the independent visas for New Zealand stream. Now, I've met a lot of Kiwi friends who has been in Australia for years and years. They never knew they could actually access to the permanent residency of Australia. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of welfare that to be provided for you and for the family if you get family here as well. So it's quite easy. It's not hard. It basically spells out two things significantly. You gotta live in Australia for at least 5 years. Okay, at least 5 years. And then the other requirement is the income requirement. So within this 5 years, you need to show that at least 4 years you have been paid work, get all your tax done. So they are required to have 4 completed financial year of tax return to be provided. Basically, that will be all the requirement for 189 point test independent skill migration visas. Now, there are a lot of other details out there. Obviously, they are state sponsor under subclass 190. I don't have the time to actually go into those details, but I'll take the opportunity next time to actually explain more. State sponsorship requires more depth because every state has a different criteria and requirements, and especially in New South Wales, they are giving out more authority to local government, where in particular part of New South Wales has different requirements than the other part of New South Wales. So there's going to be a lot of others, and if you have interest about it, you can also refer to my other video talking about subclass 489 visas, which is the new initiative that the Australian government want the skilled migrant to actually go to regional area of Australia, where the opportunity is generally open up for any type of occupations. Now, that's about it for today's video. Should you be interested, consider to subscribe to our channel. We'll have more Australian visa news coming out. Thank you.